Some books are going to be impossible. Lee Child dashed my hopes of Reacher adapting one great book for the show. As a longtime fan of Lee Child's Jack Reacher novels, I approached Amazon Prime Video's Reacher series with a cautious mix of excitement and dread. The first season, based on Killing Floor, and the second, adapting Bad Luck and Trouble, were thrilling proof that the hulking ex-military cop could be done right on screen. Alan Ritchson's casting was the answer to our collective prayers. Finally, a Reacher who looked like he could knock out 5 guys in an alley without breaking a sweat. But amid all this joy, a recent comment from Lee Child himself shattered a specific dream I had for the series. And honestly, it stung. In a candid moment during a promotional event, Lee Child said what many of us dreaded. Some books are going to be impossible to adapt. It was a passing statement, but for me, it felt personal because I knew exactly which book he meant. At least, the one I've always believed would be the perfect Reacher season. The Enemy. The book that should have been the crown jewel. Published in 2004, The Enemy is the 8th Jack Reacher novel and a prequel. Unlike most entries in the series, which follow Reacher's modern-day, drifter lifestyle, The Enemy is set in 1990 and places him squarely within the military. He's still an MP, loyal to the institution, and investigating the mysterious death of a 2-star general. It's not just a gripping thriller, it's Reacher operating within the system he eventually walks away from, navigating army politics, personal betrayal, and moral dilemmas that shape who he becomes. It's cerebral. It's emotional. It's layered with military procedure and Cold War paranoia. It's the most personal of all the Reacher stories, and yet, according to Child, it's likely to remain untouched. Why The Enemy would be difficult? To be fair, Lee Child isn't wrong. The Enemy presents a logistical challenge that makes it an outlier in the Reacher canon. First, it's a period piece. Adapting it would require setting the clock back to 1990, a time before smartphones, GPS, and the internet shape the way investigations unfold. That change alone requires a full-scale production commitment to setting, wardrobe, vehicles, and technology. Amazon has money, yes, but period thrillers cost more. Second, and more pressingly, The Enemy demands a younger Reacher. Not just slightly younger, but nearly 20 years. Alan Ritchson, built like a tank and radiating alpha confidence, plays present-day Reacher flawlessly. But aging him down to a 30-year-old version of himself serving in the army? That's no small ask. De-aging effects would look awkward. Recasting would break the emotional continuity the series has worked so hard to build. So Child is right, The Enemy is, in many ways, a logistical nightmare. But here's the thing, impossible doesn't mean unnecessary. And letting The Enemy sit forever on the shelf of untouchable Reacher stories is a disservice to the character, the fans, and the very arc the show is trying to explore. Reacher needs his origin story. One of the biggest strengths of The Enemy is how it peels back the mythos of Jack Reacher. We meet his mother again, explore his difficult relationship with his brother Joe, and get a glimpse into the decisions that eventually lead him to quit the military. It's filled with the raw, formative moments that shaped him into the justice-seeking nomad we meet in Killing Floor. It shows us a Reacher with boundaries, responsibilities, and doubts. That emotional depth has been missing in the show, at least in full. Yes, we get flashbacks. Season 1 introduced Reacher's childhood and hinted at his bond with Joe. Season 2 dug deeper into his military connections through Neagley and the Old 110th. But we're still looking at the aftermath, the ghost of a past we've never truly experienced. Adapting The Enemy would change that. It would show, not tell, why Reacher walks alone, why he distrusts institutions, and why his moral code is so inflexible. It would give audiences a rich, character-driven mystery wrapped in a high-stakes thriller package they love. There's a way to make it work. Despite Child's pessimism, I believe there's a path forward. It just requires creative risk. Imagine this, a special standalone season, Reacher Season 5 perhaps, that steps away from the present-day continuity. A flashback season. A prequel. A younger actor plays Jack Reacher, carefully cast not as a Ritchson lookalike, but as someone who can carry the spirit of the character, calculating, observant, intimidating even without speaking. This younger Reacher wouldn't need to match Alan Ritchson physically. You just need to echo his essence. Think of what Better Call Saul did for Breaking Bad, or how young Sheldon carved space from The Big Bang Theory. A good prequel doesn't dilute the main timeline, it enhances it. Alternatively, if the producers are unwilling to recast, then the show could weave the enemy into the present via memory. Frame the story as Reacher recounting a pivotal case to Neagley or someone else using extended flashbacks. This structure would allow Richson to remain a constant presence, perhaps narrating, while another actor embodies the younger version in extended sequences. It's a balancing act, sure, but Reacher already juggles timelines and flashbacks effectively. Fans want it, even if they don't know it yet. While Reacher fans have largely embraced the action-heavy, punch-first-talk-later nature of the series, there's a silent craving for more emotional depth. We love watching him crack bones and outsmart bad guys, but what makes Reacher fascinating isn't just his brute strength, it's his psychology. Why is he like this? Why did he leave everything behind? Why doesn't he trust anyone? The enemy answers these questions in heartbreaking detail. It doesn't just build the Reacher mythology, it completes it. It shows us what he lost, what he gave up, and why, even now, he won't turn back. In a world of expanding cinematic universes and character-driven spin-offs, why not gamble on one of the best Reacher stories ever written? Other books are easier, but not always better. Let's be honest, some of the Reacher books are more TV-friendly. Die Trying, Persuader, 61 Hours all have linear plots, contain threats, and easy casting. But these stories, while entertaining, don't hit the same emotional depth as The Enemy. They don't fill in the blanks in Reacher's past or reveal the core of who he is. They're episodes. The Enemy is an origin. Skipping it for convenience feels short-sighted. Sure, it might take more effort, but that's the point. Prestige television is built on bold choices, not safe ones. If not now, then when? If Amazon's Reacher is truly planning to adapt multiple books per season, as recent announcements have hinted, then eventually the series will run out of crowd pleasers and have to dig into the more complex stories. It makes sense to plan ahead, either lay the groundwork for The Enemy adaptation now or set up the emotional space to justify a major prequel season later. There's also a timing issue. Alan Ritchson is in peak physical condition and dominating action roles right now, but 5 years from now? Then, audiences evolve. Contracts end. Circumstances change. If the creative team wants to take a creative risk, the clock is ticking. Lee Child may be right, but he's been wrong before. I say this with all the respect in the world for Lee Child, the creator of a character I followed for 2 decades. He's not always the best judge of what works on screen. Let's not forget, he was involved in the casting of Tom Cruise as Jack Reacher, a move that alienated the fan base for years. Cruise is a terrific actor, but as Reacher, he never looked the part, and Child eventually admitted as much. So when he says some books are impossible to adapt, maybe what he means is it won't be easy. And that's fair. But impossible? Not for a show like Reacher. Not with the appetite of the fans. And not when the source material is this good. A hope that won't die. So yes, hearing Lee Child say that the